Hello friends, welcome back to the Python programming session. In the earlier sessions, we saw about the label widget and the entry widget. And in this session, let's move ahead and see what the button widget means in Tkinter. So whenever we want to add a button in any Tkinter GUI application, then we can use the button widget. So whenever there is a requirement of having a button in the GUI application, then we can go in for the button widget. It is one of the most important widget in Tkinter. We can add any number of buttons to the Tkinter screen. And when we click on the button will be associated with a function. So whenever we click on the button, the function gets called and whatever we have specified in the functionality of the function gets executed. There are many options for the button widget and we can use these options as per our requirements. And the syntax is button1, which is a variable which holds the button widget. It can be of any name. I've specified it as button1. It can be btn1, btn2. So any identifier we can specify as the name of the variable. Then we have the button function. Whenever we want to place the button widget, we have to use the button function and it should be placed in the main window, and there are many options available. Some of the important options available are BD, the width of the button, width of the border in pixels as we have already seen for label widget, BG, the background color of the button, and here we have active background as well. So what is the difference between background and active background? So whenever the screen is displayed and whatever color we give as background will be displayed on the background of the button, and whenever the cursor or mouse hovers on the widget, on the button widget, and whatever is there in the active background gets displayed. Let's look into it with an example later on. FG is the foreground color of the button or the color of the text of the button. Active foreground. It is the foreground color of the button when the mouse hovers over the button. So active background was background color of the button when the mouse hovers over the button. So it is a background color when the mouse hovers over the button. And active foreground is the foreground color of the button when the mouse hovers over the button. Then we have command. In this option, we can specify the function name which gets called when the button is clicked. So whenever we click a button, some operation has to happen. So all these operations, whatever we want, can be specified within a function. So whenever we click a button, the function gets called and whatever we have specified in the functionality of the function gets executed. Then we have the font, which indicates the font of the button, height, height of the button, width, width of the button, justify. It specifies where the text needs to be aligned on the button, whether it is left justified, right, or center justified. Then we have pad X, pad Y, that is horizontal padding and vertical padding. Then we have the state. If we set the state to disabled, the button becomes unresponsive. It does not respond. So we usually it is enabled, but if we set the state to disabled, it becomes unresponsive. So now let's look into a code example and see how the button widget works in Tkinter. So firstly, let me have my button 1 equal to button, the function, place it in the main window, and let me have my text on the button equal to red. Active background also is equal to red. And what command gets executed when we click on this button? It is equal to lambda colon The function name is color and the parameter which I am passing is red. So friends, whenever we click on the button, this particular function gets executed. I will write the functionality of the color function later on. If it is having a parameter, we have to specify lambda and we have to pass in the parameter. If no parameters are there, then we need not specify the lambda. We can just give the function name. Since I'm passing the parameter, I'm using lambda over here. And let me pack the button saying button1 dot pack. Similarly, let's create another 3 buttons. Okay. And let's make the second button equal to button 2. Button 2. The text is equal to blue. BLUE. And active background for this button is blue again. And I'm passing the parameter equal to blue when the blue button gets clicked. Then I'm having my third button which is equal to button 3 button and color is green for the third button. So I want the text to be specified as green. Active background is green and color is green for this particular button. I'm passing the green color as the parameter to my color function. And lastly, let me have my button 4 is equal to pink. Active background is pink and let me pass in the color pink. So friends, over here I've created 4 buttons, button 1, button 2, button 3, button 4. Place it in the main window. Text for the first button is red, text for the second button is blue, for the third it is green and for the fourth it is pink. Active background means whenever I hover the mouse over this button, the background color changes to red. For this it changes to blue, for this it changes to green and for this it changes to pink. Command. Whenever I click on this particular button, it calls the function color and it passes red as the parameter. For this it will pass blue as the parameter, green and then pink. And for writing any function, we write it above the main window. So it is defined in the beginning. So let me call def color. Let me take it in the name variable. Whatever red, blue, green, pink we are passing, it will be stored in the name variable. And let me give my name 1 is equal to you clicked on the string concatenation name string concatenation and then button. Now I want to display this message. Whenever I click on the red button, I want to display the message you clicked on the red button. So red is a parameter I'm passing to the color function. So name will be having red. So whenever we click on the red button, we get the message you clicked on the, instead of name, it will have red button. And now where to display this particular text? So we have to create a label for this. So label 1 is equal to label, place it in the main window. What should be the text for displaying the message? It should be name 1. So text is name 1. and I have to pack this particular label. So let me tell it as label1 dot pack. So friends, here we are having four buttons. When I click on the red button, red passes to name. Name 1 will have the value you clicked on the red button, and it will be displayed on the label. Labels are usually used to display text or images. So when I give name 1, the text will have you clicked on the red button. So this particular text will be displayed on the label widget. So now let's run the code and see how it works. So we got a screen as follows. So I'm having four buttons. Button 1 is having the text equal to red, button 2 blue, button 3 green, button 4 pink. Now if I click on the red button, so on the mouse click, if I click, the background changes to red and it will display the message you clicked on the red button. Now if I click on the blue button, the background changes to blue and it will say you clicked on the blue button. Similarly, if I click on the green button, it will say you clicked on the green button. For pink button, you clicked on the pink button. Now again, if I click on green, it says you clicked on the green button. So here, every time the function is being called, a label is getting generated. So it is creating a label and displaying the text on the label. So we are having all the text, whatever buttons we clicked, all the text has been displayed on the Tkinter screen. This is because we have created the label widget inside the function. So every time the function gets called, the label widget gets created and the text will be displayed on the label widget. Now let us change our code a bit and ensure that it will display only once. So if I click on red button, it should say you clicked on the red button. If I click on green, on the same label, it should display the text you clicked on the green button. So how can we go about it? Let me close this first. So instead of having the label widget within the function, let's have it outside the function. So let me delete it. Let me have my label widget outside. So let me call it as label1 is equal to label. Place it in the main window and let me have text variable is equal to name1. So here it's a variable name1, and here I have to specify name1 is equal to string var. So it is a string, basically it holds the string, so we have to define it as a string variable, and my name1 will be having you clicked on the name button. So name will be having red, blue, green, pink for each of the buttons. So this name1 will be we have to set it actually. So we have to give it as name1 dot set. So basically friends, here we are not creating the label widget every time. We have defined it outside the function. So place it in the main window and text variable is equal to name1. And every time we click the button, the name variable will be set to you clicked on the red button or you clicked on the green button, blue button or pink button. And that particular value will be returned on the text variable name1. So basically here we are defining name1 as a string variable, assigning it to the text variable and setting its value with the help of dot set method in the labels. So now when I run this particular code, let me pack it also. So I have to say label1 dot pack. Now let me run the code. So here when I click on the red button, I get the message you clicked on the red button. Now when I click on the blue, the same text message has been overridden with you clicked on the blue button. We are not getting multiple lines of text because we are not creating a label every time. We are creating the label outside the function and setting its variable, setting its value with the help of set parameter, set method, and then assigning it to the text variable. And now if I click on the green button, it will say you clicked on the green button, you clicked on the pink button. So hope so friends, it is clear for you how we can, with the help of the click method in the button, we can call a function and execute the functionality present within the function. So let's recap once again. So whenever we want to add a button in any Tkinter GUI application, we have to go in for the button widget. It is one of the most important widget. Whenever we click on the button, the functionality associated with the function gets executed. There are many options for the button widget and we can use these options as per our requirement. There are many commands like bd, bg, active background, foreground, active foreground, command, font, height, width, justify, pad x, pad y, and state. And we also saw two code examples for the button widget. Hope so friends, it is clear for you. If you have any doubts, please do reach to me out in the comment section. If you like my video, click on the like button and please do subscribe to get notifications of my new videos. Till then, see you. Bye bye.